Jeremy, it's been a good season. The stats say it's been an excellent season. How do you look back on 2011?
A good season. Horses have run well all year. The win percentage is great, and they've performed consistently all season. And I think with the hand that we had from the spring onwards, staff, everyone, we've played it as well as we can, and great credit to everyone and how they've kept winning their races and kept a consistency right through the year.
If you look back over the months, it's not been without its difficulties in terms of one or two of the more promising 2-year-olds turning 3. I've had issues and niggles that have not meant you've been at full strength almost.
Yeah, the spring was tough because we basically lost with Peter Martins, who was my big hope amongst my 3-year-old colts. He was injured in early March, which ruled him out for the rest of the season. Ellis Diamond, in her preparation towards the Oaks, out of the blue got a lung infection, which meant that she had to spend 10 weeks back at the farm. Losing those two really meant I sort of felt that we lost our 2 flag bearer 3-year-olds for the season ahead, and it left us depleted in the stakes ranks, which is sometimes where you need to be competing for people to notice the obvious, rather than just your general stats and your general consistency, which are less obvious unless someone's really looking to delve into it and find it.
I mean, I would say that month on month it's been as consistent season as Shalfleet has had in the last decade in terms of the way the horses have maintained their form throughout. Fair comment?
Yeah, at this point of the season we've never had, we'd be dealing with our smallest number of runners and our smallest string of horses in 6 years at this point, and come the end of August, it's our largest win total that we've ever had in one particular season. So put the two things together, it only suggests one thing, a great level of performance, a great level of consistency amongst the horses, and it's I'm thrilled by it, and it's there's a lot of people, staff out there have helped, my head man Michael Haggis on helping me place the horses, and couldn't have gone better.
And you look at the last month or so, and one or two of the 2-year-olds have started to put their hand up as stakes quality performers, talking about Talwar and Regal Realm. Yeah. You must have been pleased to start making your mark in those group races as well.
Yeah, those 2 winning group races was really pleasing. Having said we hadn't had a group winner to that point, and they're 2 tough, hardy individuals who can go on through the rest of the autumn hopefully and keep competing at a good level. Even approaching this week, we have Regal Realm, who's heading to the Mayhill, where has a decent, good, solid chance. I mean, she's a tough filly, wants to win, wants to compete, and she'd run really well there. Hopefully, before going on to the Fillies Mile, Talwar heads to the National Stakes in Ireland, and looks definitely to have a live chance there. And there's a few others, in particular, Harville and Yale is a horse that I have a lot of faith in. He's going to have a run at Newbury in 10 days' time, and I believe that he's going to be competing in group races before the end of the season. And they're just a really solid bunch of 2-year-olds who are performing well. Now we just keep our fingers crossed and hope that 1 or 2 of them are going to take the step up to the next level and compete at the championship level.
And give us an insight into what it's like for a racing stable and a trainer at this time of the year, because it's not just busy at the racetrack and within the yard, it's the sales season, and that brings its very own pressures, doesn't it? It's a very busy time for the trainer and the team as a whole.
Yeah, we're heading into the busiest time of the year. We have a stable where we're running possibly more horses than we've run all year, in that we have the 3-year-olds and the older horses still campaigning, more 2-year-olds campaigning than we've had at any time of the year, and now we're moving to the sales. Means a week for me in Keeneland, back for 10 days, then off to Goffs, and then basically 2 weeks solid here in Newmarket. And it's the work that you're doing now, and selecting horses, looking at horses, and also discussing things with owners and looking for their investment and their faith in what we're doing, supplying the product for the future. It's a pressurised time, and It needs to be on all fronts. You need this September and October to go as smooth as possible.
When you approach the sales, in terms of homework and then actually studying horses when you're going around at the sales houses, what do you actually look for when you're trying to pinpoint potential prospects to attract owners to buy? Is it confirmation? Is it the pedigree? What are the two aspects, or what are the aspects you really look at?
The primary thing is an athletic horse that has some strength and looks like he has the attributes to be a racehorse. According to what budget you have, if you get that individual who's an athlete and a strong individual and he has a fabulous pedigree, sadly most of the time it's going to move it out of the budget area of what we're looking to spend. So just looking at a lot of horses and trying to find maybe a horse that has all the attributes that we want, might just lack a little bit of pedigree, but looks like an ideal athlete and a runner.
Lastly, if you were to, and I know you make targets for yourself and the team at the start of the year, how close are you to being on top of those targets as you approach the final month and a half, 2 months of the season, in terms of winners, strike rate or prize money?
Winners wise, we're very, very close now to achieving, and I'm certain that we will achieve the target that I set out at the beginning of the year. The only thing we are lacking is the group winners, but the targets I set were prior to the couple of setbacks with two very important horses, but with that can still all change. We have enough firepower amongst the 2-year-olds to finish the season off in a really good fashion. Then these races aren't going to be easy, but these are good, tough horses who I think can compete at the right level.
So all in all, if you were to sum up 2011 as we go into the final, sort of, as I say, last month or so, how would you assess the campaign?
Yeah, top campaign. When you're at this moment with 26% winners to runners, I have no doubt that we'll finish the season on 25% at least. That suggests that things have gone really well. And I think if I'd been sitting here, I know if I'd been sitting here and I'd had a dual Group 1 winning 3-year-old or 4-year-old that had put a substantial amount of prize money in the kitty, that people would be turning around and they'd notice that horse, and in noticing that horse would notice the rest of them, and they'd be possibly turning around and saying Jeremy Noseda is having the best season of his life. So we've been in a situation where I feel we're within one good horse of having a stellar season, but we haven't got that. We can't do anything about it. But for what we have, we've had a stellar season. So it's been good. It's been good.
Lastly, as a separate piece of Facebook, just give us a 20-second preview of Talwar's chance and what persuaded you to campaign or to take him to Ireland this weekend and pay the supplement. How is he?
Yeah, Talwar is in good shape. He's quite a lazy worker at home, but he's a tough, honest performer who has progressed with every race on the racetrack. And I sat here and we're looking through races and where we ought to go and what we should do, and I never entered him in a national, but I looked through the entries for the national, and a personal hunch at this moment is that the Irish 2-year-olds are possibly a little bit below what you would expect at this time of year. So I felt it was worth the supplement, and especially with softish ground looking likely, we could go there and feel that we had a solid each way chance, and also a decent chance of winning a Group 1, which would move the horse to another level as far as value, and possibly even giving him sort of stallion potential for the future. So I felt it was a gamble well worth taking in paying the €20,000 supplementary.
Good.